The word rendered deceive in Matthew 24:4, 5, 11, and 24 is defined by Strong's as properly caused to roam from safety, truth, or virtue, found 39 times in the King James New Testament. Here's a portion of what Stephen Jones states about the spiritual meaning of this number. The number 39 in Hebrew was written with the letters Lamed and Tet. 39 is the number of infirmity. Note that 39 is derived from authority and serpent, and or authority of the serpent, meaning infirmity. Seems to fit, doesn't it? Indicating that deception clearly weakens us in ways we don't fully understand. This also aligns with the temptation story in Genesis chapter 3, the first appearance of this word in the King James New Testament, and how it's rendered actually clarifies this perspective. How think ye, if a man have 100 sheep, and one of them be gone astray, doth he not leave the 99 and goeth into the mountains and seek that which is gone astray? And if so be that he find it, verily I say to you, he rejoices more of that sheep than of the 99 which went not astray. Here the phrases gone astray and astray are the same Greek word rendered deceive in Matthew 24:4, 5, 11, and 24. When I think of the definition meaning cause to roam, I cannot help but think of Cain. When God cursed Cain after murdering Abel, he declared he would be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. Fugitive means to waver, while vagabond to nod or wander, agreeing with the phrase gone astray. Remember, Cain is called a tiller of the ground, pointing to the carnal self, while Abel, a keeper of sheep, denoting the sacrificial nature of the love of Christ. The carnal self always wavers, wanders, and goes astray. But here is where we behold the precious love and unending mercy of our Creator. For as Jesus teaches, He leaves the 99 and seeks the gone astray. Our next occurrence of this word is in Matthew 22:29, where Jesus discusses resurrection with the Sadducees, telling them, "You do err, not knowing the Scriptures nor the power of God." This too is quite telling, showing that even an expert in the knowledge of the Scriptures does not make one capable of perceiving the things of the Spirit of God when one's ability to do so is greatly hindered by the inordinate love of the self. And this is where the rubber meets the road, making full circle back to the ignorance of pride. Remember, ignorance refers to information, while pride to how one holds to this information. This brings us to Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also will reject you from being priest for me. Because you have forgotten the law of your God, I also will forget your children. We've been here before, haven't we? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. No, not information, but right information, based in the humble spirit of both giver and receiver. And so the prophet follows with, because you have rejected knowledge. Could this be what Jesus meant when he told the scribes and Pharisees, all too well you reject the commandment of God, that you may keep your tradition, and again, making the word of God of no effect through your tradition which you have handed down? And what else did Jesus say to the scribes and Pharisees? You are of your father, the devil, and the desires of your father you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources, for he is a liar and the father of it. First, rejecting knowledge due to their traditions, followed by the bondage of their pride in those traditions that blinded them to the truth. Perhaps it's just me, But is the Lord not also clearly saying that if we wish harm to others, up to and including the idea of taking their lives, that this proceeds not from the Spirit of Christ, but the spirit of the devil? And since Christ uses the word Father, is he not also suggesting that what is birthed by this Spirit is indeed devilish or demonic? Note how James says it. But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. This wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, demonic. For where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing are there. The word demonic is devilish in the King James, defined by Strong's as demon-like, derived from the two words we considered in Part 21. What is James referring to? Wisdom. Wisdom? Yes. You mean not some fallen angel? No, not at all. And when we add bitter envy and self-seeking to the mix, we see how wisdom is made earthly, sensual, and demonic. In other words, we see how a demon is formed. What is a demon? Word and spirit, mind and heart, where knowing means an intimate union, but with the spirit of error. And this, dear friend, is what Jesus destroyed when he cast out demons. He went straight to the source, bypassing the lies in the head and going for the heart, releasing those he delivered by the overwhelming power of the Spirit of truth. This brings us to one of the more interesting stories in the New Testament. And when he came to the other side, to the country of the Gadarenes, 2 demon-possessed men met him, coming out of the tombs, so fierce that no one could pass that way. And behold, they cried out, "What have you to do with us, O Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time?" Now a herd of many pigs was feeding at some distance from them. And the demons begged him, saying, "If you cast us out, send us away into the herd of pigs." And he said to them, "Go." So they came out and went into the pigs, and behold, the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the waters. The herdsmen fled, and going into the city they told everything, especially what happened to the demon-possessed men. And behold, all the city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged him to leave their region. Do you recognize this story? It's the story of Legion, although in Matthew the name is not mentioned, and Matthew speaks of 2 demon-possessed men, not just one. The other accounts are found in Mark 5, verses 1 through 20, and Luke 8, verses 26 through 39. No doubt there's much to consider here, so I will do my best to point out what I believe is the more significant aspects. Matthew's account is brief, and it does raise questions that he would say 2 demon-possessed men, while Mark and Luke mention just one. I'm certainly open to suggestions, so please feel free to leave them in the comments section. I do welcome your thoughts. Now, my first consideration. In all 3 accounts, the story preceding Legion is where a great windstorm arises, and the waves beat into the boat so that it is filling up, and the Lord rebukes the wind and sea, bringing calm. Coincidence, or might there be a connection between the fact that Jesus rebukes the wind and the raging of the water, and there is calm, and immediately after he casts demons out of the man called Legion, who is then found to be in his right mind? Does the calming of the one reflect the deliverance of the other? Wind denotes spirit, while water, the thoughts and ways of either God or man. So in the calming of the wind and sea, we have a beautiful picture of the Lord's deliverance, not only for Legion, but for all. Where is the man seen after his deliverance? Sitting at the feet of the Lord, clothed and in his right mind, covered by the righteousness of the Lord's love, mercy, and grace that has destroyed all the lies in his head and heart. The fact that the demons went into the pigs is also a significant point. Gemini tells us in the days of Christ, first century Jews viewed pigs and swine with absolute detestation. They weren't just considered an unclean food choice. The pig was seen as the ultimate symbol of pagan corruption, religious compromise, and spiritual defilement. Also, when the local people saw a herd of 2,000 pigs rushing down a steep bank to drown in the Sea of Galilee, a Jewish observer wouldn't just see a financial loss for the local Gentile farmers. They would see a massive, dramatic purging of spiritual defilement from the region. I'll stop here, but there's certainly more to come. Please be sure to join me for the next study as we continue our look into Legion.